Hello YouTube, this is Morgan Airspeed Prime here with my next Steven Universe episode review. This one's going to be for Season 5, Episode 25, Legs from Here to Homeworld. I think there's only one episode left in this season, but I'm not entirely sure, and I obviously don't have a clue when that one's going to air. But this episode was pretty crazy just because one, we got the White Diamond reveal. We finally met White Diamond, which was obviously a really, really big thing, and most of the episode was kind of spent setting her up. Like, you see Yellow and Blue talk about her. The other gems kind of be like, don't even mention her. That, like, you think Yellow and Blue are sort of bad with what they did, but this is even worse. Like, White's basically never left Homeworld. Like, she is what Homeworld is, almost. We don't get to meet her for an incredible amount of time, but I suppose we're going to, in the finale, into next season, get it explained to us that, okay, here is probably the reason for why everything is the way it is on Homeworld. Is because of decisions probably made by her and that she's trying to keep as they are. But yeah, the big takeaway from this, outside of just the character reveal, was the incredibly fast pacing of the plot of this episode. That we've been speculating for like seasons now that, okay, at some point we're going to have to head to Homeworld to either have a big battle there or confront characters there, and just all of a sudden this one episode that I think we more expected to sort of be just talking to Blue and Yellow is part like going to meet like Senti and who she actually is. Then we find the Pink's ship, which turns out to be the Legs, and all in the same episode they find, activate and use that ship to get back to Homeworld, all in the one episode. And it's like, this show has at times had batches of episodes when like nothing has happened. They've spent like 7 episodes focusing on the Beach City characters, and then in the space of one episode you get us back to Homeworld like that. And in I suppose classic Steven Universe style, of course, they do that thing that they tend to do here, where they make it more of a, we're going to talk about things more so than any sort of like action. I assume we will have fights in the remainder of the series, but they seem to be more leaning down the road of, like, for the most part they are going to talk things out with most of the characters, in that White Diamond's introduction was that, okay, here she is talking. She's not letting anyone talk to her or explain themselves. She's just, I want things to go my way. I'm happy you're back. Welcome back, Pink. Go to your room, basically. Not listening to a single thing Steven says and just wanting to keep that control. And I think that's probably what we're going to get from the character, is that she is all about control and basically gets rid of anything that looks like it's going to negatively impact Homeworld and what potentially she has set up on that planet. So dealing with her, maybe changing her mind, or if there is a big battle, being forced to take her out in some way, is going to be the big thing. But what we do seem to get here is that the ships, when all combined together, form a giant, gem ship, basically, because the Pink ship is the legs, Blue and Yellow are the arms, and then White is like the head and torso, so very clearly combined together and you get this giant monster. Now, how exactly do you make that happen when, like, Steven has one of them and, like, White Diamond is apparently the biggest enemy? I assume that would have to be potentially White taking over the whole thing and using that as her big weapon as everyone else fights against it, but I don't really know what exact way they're going to go about using the full combiner thing once they get it done, if they decide to do it. But yeah, cool reveal for sure. Going back to the start of the episode with Yellow and Blue, obviously, like, as we sort of got surprised that the fight was sort of ended in the last episodes with Steven getting through to them that he is pink. And so immediately here, the tension is kind of gone for the most part, because Yellow and Blue are just kind of happy to know that Pink is still alive. And of course they have questions about, why are you in this form? Why don't you remember anything? What's going on here? But they ultimately seem to accept what Steven says, and they're still, you can still tell that they're sort of anti-Earth and what's going on here, just because they very much take everything that happened as like a nuisance. I think similar to what White says, like, are you done? Have you got all of that like rebellious streak out of your system? Can you finally come back and like just be normal, basically? And it's obviously being very dismissive of the fact that like Pink sort of became who she was on Earth because of how Earth changed her, and you know, the person that they think Pink is as the Diamond Pink is like basically them controlling her to be that way and not actually who the character is. So them having to accept that Rose is a very different character than like original Pink Diamond, and Steven is more similar to that than he is to any sort of Diamond as it is. So they set up that there's going to be talks, but now Steven's more or less been captured, like Yellow and Blue are with everyone else, and even they're sort of terrified that, okay, we brought Pink back, but this has happened, and this has happened basically because we failed in doing things that happened before, in that them saying that White has never left more or less means that like, unless they're saying like the last time White left was to do the big attack, but based on the dialogue from this episode, I get the impression that it was Blue and Yellow who executed that big attack that apparently, you know, killed or at least corrupted all of the gems here. White wasn't really involved in that, and that's why they're kind of terrified of revealing this to her, and only Yellow sort of feels confident that she can in any way talk her way out of things with White. So very, very interesting episode to end it like it did. It was a very, very abrupt ending to the episode that, like, I don't know if it was maybe whatever way it was edited together where I watched it, or if it actually was broadcast like that, but it seemed to just like cut like almost instantaneously to the point where I assume this is very much meant to be a two-parter, more so than be viewed as one. But it still had the ending to it, so I'm not really sure. Still, I did enjoy this episode. Other moments were that Connie is on Homeworld. She goes with the group. That was a nice scene with her family, that they're letting her do this. Stephen and Bismuth had a nice scene that Bismuth is going to stay on Earth, primarily to look after the now poofed Peridot and Lapis. But I like the pep talk that she gave Stephen of just, you're going into the Lion's Den, but here's the thing, it may be weird, but you are one of those lions that, you know, you are technically a diamond and you are one of the like authorities on this planet. Use your voice. Don't just let, you know, White primarily, but also Yellow and Blue, you know, speak over you. You know, you present your point and see can you change minds, and that's going to be interesting if he ever gets that chance to really speak and present a different view of things to the rest of the gems, because I suppose one of the bigger things in the series has been the fact that Steven has, as the series has progressed, managed to do that with so many other gems. Really turn them onto his side and away from the, you know, the homeworld mentality of they are everything, all other life is meaningless, basically. So, yeah, good episode. Again, randomness with the airing of like, oh, I get they showed this episode at Comic-Con, so they weren't going to leave it too long, but I don't even know, like, where did they air this episode? I found it, but I don't even know the specifics of that, nor when the last episode is coming. I think it pretty much confirms now that, you know, Season 6 is a thing. I think we all but had it confirmed, but there's no way they're going to wrap it up in one episode, I don't think. So Season 6 is going to be interesting. And of course, yeah, the Comic-Con reveal of we're getting a Steven Universe movie. Now, I haven't looked into it too much, but like what I'm getting from that reveal is that like it's just this vague like there is a Steven Universe movie. I'm not really sure if it's meant to be like the finale of the series. If it's meant to wrap up season 5, is it a separate thing coming after the seasons, or is it a kind of one-off thing that's just a movie? I didn't look into it too much, but I don't think it's coming anytime particularly soon. So I'll address that more when it comes out. Of course, I will review the other episodes as they're released. I just don't know when the next one is actually coming. But yeah, that was my thoughts on the episode. Really cool character reveal. I really like White Diamond's design of just that she basically constantly radiates light because she's White Diamond. She's huge even compared to, I assume, the other diamonds as well. Almost get the impression that like as diamonds age, they like get bigger or something like that. The voice feels like, yeah, this is definitely like the oldest like gem in existence almost. She's definitely coming across like I made all of this, and the fact that she's not letting anyone speak was pretty cool. And yeah, like we don't know the scope of her powers beyond the fact that she could do the bubbling thing, but there's obviously something that allows her to keep control, and that's going to be fun to see. But yeah, that's been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.